Man, Rooster, it's got to be 5 o'clock somewhere.
Learn those lessons for yourself.
It's
the
a different
only way to
world,
do it.
because you're what we're talking about right now, and we're back.
We're back. We're talking right now.
Yep. So we're gonna fill you in. You know, it's that show. We're just talking about going out into the real world. And as a young person, the first time you go out in the real world, because you've lived in a certain environment, if you're you live with your parents, right? And you go out on your own, and now you're exposed to other ideals and other information. Your brain right now is what we're talking about. You're learning to accept other ideals because you've been fed different,
Exactly.
a constant feed of a different view.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're learning how that works. And that varies in all different types of ways. And my oldest is now realizing a lot of that too, where he's out on his own and he's like, well, maybe Dad wasn't just batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe there is a lot more truth in that than I wanted to accept.
It's very easy to have a perspective on something when you don't have experience in it, and you've been fed this information, whatever, and that's what we're talking about as you grow up. And truly, the only way to learn anything is for you to learn it yourself. As much advice as anyone can give you or anything, it's not going to get beaten down into your core brain of understanding until you experience something yourself and and make your own decisions.
Right.
And which is the stage of life that I'm in. I'm
Right.
in the stage of life of having to deal with all these issues myself and discover all these alternate perspectives and
Right.
branching out from just the information that you've been fed.
Right. Sucks.
Sucks ass.
Sucks.
Growing up
It
sucks.
sucks. It sucks because adulting sucks. I mean, let's just be real. I mean, but that's what's happening right now too, and I think we're at a place right now where, and I'm not going to focus it all on one entity being, let's say, central media, right? Because central media only regurgitates itself by the channels that you click. It's the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Right? I don't care what network it is. I don't care, who's right, who's left, who does. They all regurgitate the same thing. Now, some of them put their own spins on it because of the affiliations that they are, and that's fine, but you have to be able to understand that. And for somebody like an individual that only watches Fox News, right? Just, it's only, only doing that.
Exactly.
Or only watches MSNBC.
Yeah.
Only doing that.
Yeah.
And you don't understand, you don't give yourself the opportunity to understand a different point of view. It just sucks. But I think what's happening now is, as a lot of this is being stripped away, as far as, we've said this before, I believe that if you are a news anchor and you go out and you broadcast something that is wrong, it's not factual, it's personally biased, that's your personal opinion, not what's actually happening, there goes your license.
Exactly.
There goes your shit.
Literally.
Your credibility out the door.
Yeah.
Right? Just gone. And that's what's happening with CBS in 60 Minutes and the Kamala Harris interview. Because they totally doctored the whole goddamn interview.
Oh, really?
Because Trump came out, sued CBS in 60 Minutes for $10 billion for violating the Information Acts and reporting news. CBS 60 Minutes came out, released the entirety of the interview because we were told it was only a 15-minute interview, and it wasn't. It was longer than that. And they used all these different sound bites and made it look like it was something else.
Yep.
They fully admitted it so they didn't have to, they wouldn't be in violation and lose their charter.
Yeah.
I still think you need to lose your shit.
Exactly, yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
You're done. You knowingly and willingly misled the public.
Yep.
That is not okay.
Yeah. And it's for their own gain in
Right.
most scenarios. It's
And regardless of the candidate, regardless of the person, that just go. If they're doing that with a vice president and a presidential candidate,
yeah.
you don't think they would? Why is
Yeah.
it they always find the one guy with one tooth and a half crop shirt at a tornado rally after the trailer park gets destroyed in Oklahoma, right? Like the perception they put out there
Exactly.
is not okay.
Exactly.
It's not okay
Because it warps the perception of millions of people. That's the foundation of
It's like, it's a light bulb, just like
seriously.
ding, And so you have to look at it and you have to go, well, what's the real truth in that? What's the viability in that, right? And that's why they've moved away from print, right? Because in a digital sense, they can change it to make it whatever they want. If they put it in print, if they actually put it down,
Yeah, it's physical. It's concrete.
It's
it
there.
cannot be changed.
it's
Yeah.
there. I mean, it can be with the retraction, but it was still recorded in the National Archives and in Congress.
Yeah.
Right? So it's there. We are seeing a completely different change here. This is something that's completely new. It's uncomfortable for me. It's uncomfortable for you. There's not a single person, even the people that are, carrying it out, beer, they're not comfortable.
Yeah.
This is totally new ground for everyone, and everyone should actually step back for a second and weigh the different things that are happening. Is it really a betterment? Is it a detriment? Is it going to provide more services for the people that need it? Is it taking away services that people that actually need it? Right? It's like the whole change with food stamps and how the government's shifting that. That if you're on food stamps, you better show that you can't work.
Yeah.
And they're actually shifting it now within different states where people that are able to partake in food stamps are individuals that are working and just can't afford food. As opposed to sitting at home.
Collecting your check every month and
Right.
eating fucking Doritos.
Right. I mean, look at what's happened with Social Security. They found all these people that have been collecting Social Security. They've been
And
dead
they've been dead. Yeah. Yeah.
for decades.
Yeah.
Decades. Decades.
Yeah.
Who's cashing the check?
Yeah.
Somebody is.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things. It's like you and I as an individual, we're not even in government. You and I are. Where?
We have both been pieces of government at some point. At some point.
But the point is that if we overspend ourselves or we do something illegal, then people come and they immediately start knocking on our door.
Yeah.
They want their money back.
Exactly.
So why isn't the American people more vocal on wanting their money back?
Yeah.
That's the whole question.
Yeah.
That's the whole question. Like, if I knew I was paying taxes my entire adult life, and I say this because I've been working since I was 13.
Yeah.
And I'm not an adult at 13, but I've been working, actually receiving payments since I was 13. If those monies are going into things that were being paid that I would never agree with.
Yeah.
What? No, I want my money back.
Exactly. And
No,
it's
I want
literally
it back.
just because of a lack of information, because you were never exposed to what that money was truly going towards. And now there's a lot of unraveling and opening of what's been going on and where all this stuff has been going, which is a good thing. I mean, transparency is a good thing.
What makes you think too is that if this is happening, then again the current administration is definitely going to hold true to promise and refortify Social Security and retirement and Medicare, because those monies can be actually reallocated back into a system where you have invalid people that can't take
Yeah, exactly.
can't take care of themselves.
And it's like, we want to take care of those people. That's
What's
like,
this is it.
yeah,
This is
that's
it.
a great thing.
Right? Have you ever looked up the video of if you're a working adult and you worked since you were 18 years old and you worked until you're 65, underneath the current Social Security rate. If you added up all those years, and I don't remember what the number is that they use for, an average for yearly income, and then it shows, and then you get to retire on a whopping $1,300 a month by the government.
Yeah.
And had you taken the same money and you put the same money into your own investments,
That they had taken.
you would be retiring at over $30,000 a month.
Wow.
There's a little bit of a difference
Yeah.
there. I mean, I don't know how to better explain that.
Yeah.
And if my portfolio manager told me that I was going to retire on $1,300 a month, I mean, I might be living in his house after that. Because if I did that for all that time and I got nothing for it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's disdain that's in the American people, right? Why do we get so little for everything that we're supporting our own country, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently we're not. We're supporting other countries.
Yeah. Seriously, though. It's all being fleshed out to all these different programs and all these people and problems around the world. And again, I don't have a problem supporting people in need. It's like, that is a great thing to do, and those people deserve that. And, those are...
In true need.
in true need, of course, exactly. But there are just so many people who take advantage of the system, and it drains from everybody else. And people who take advantage of the system are the government included, like fleshing out all of these
Yeah.
American dollars that we have so many of our own problems that do not get solved because of this.
Exactly. Exactly. And when do we as citizens get to have a say in that? You know, because you can't have all these shadow organizations deciding where they're going to send your money to. And I say that like I'm like 20 billion of my dollars got sent over there.
Yeah.
But regardless if it's 20 billion or $20, it's still part of the problem
Yeah.
and part of the equation.
Yeah.
Right? And so it needs to come back, needs to be reallocated, needs to be recentered, and you need to figure this stuff out. Look at the roads across the country.
Yeah.
How many times in your lifetime have you heard this in politics? Oh, we're going to build better roads.
Yeah.
We're going to build better bridges. You know how many times you've seen that? I can guarantee you, it doesn't even equal to one.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do we go through, our major city and highway construction never stops?
Yeah. Yeah.
Never stops.
Exactly.
Those are federal dollars, right?
And even when it's done, it's after a couple of years, it's got to be redone.
Right.
It doesn't fucking go anywhere.
Right. So why are we building everything to substandard?
Yeah.
That doesn't last 20 years.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You know, I can't really speak on the education system side of things right now because the way the current administration looks is they're going to kick it all back to the states. They're going to, there's going to be an oversight within the government. I don't see a total disbandment of Board of Education, but they're going to kick it to states. Same thing with health rates as far as
Yeah.
insurance goes, and a bunch of different laws. One of the best things I heard was a conversation that J.D. Vance said that he doesn't understand why Election Day isn't a national holiday. It should be.
Yeah, for sure.
It should be. Should be. Should be a paid day off. You get to go in person. You get
Yeah.
to go and vote. There's
Yeah.
no excuse.
And it gives you an opportunity to learn about the issues and educate yourself. And, it's, rather than, we both know that 80% of the people who vote in this country aren't educated about what the fuck they're actually voting for. You know? It's like,
and it literally, when you look at a paper ballot, they're literally voting on, who wants to be president, who wants to be governor, who wants to be vice president, or whatever the candidate brackets are. When it comes down to local stuff like judges and resolution or amendments to the current state constitution for certain laws, they don't do any of that.
exactly.
They
And
don't do any of
I'm
that.
guilty of that too. That's what
So
I said. Educating yourself on this vast array of information that has so many effects around the world is almost impossible in today's world.
Right, and so why are we worried about everybody else across the world?
Literally.
Why don't people be more focused on what their local environment is?
Yeah.
Like what was the one with Jordan Peterson? And he said, you can't make a change in the world until you make a change in your own environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to work on your own environment first, and then you move outward. And that's very true. You have to work on this, and then you have to go out.
Yeah.
And so I think what we're going to see is a lot of that happening.
Yeah.
The people they're going to actually start waking up because, unfortunately, yes, there's going to be a lot of pain in it, and there's going to be people that don't get benefits that maybe they did without any oversight.
Yeah. And that's the other side of the coin is like these people who are deserving of these resources are being stripped of them in this process, but a lot of people who aren't are also being stripped, and it's like you got to take it back to the beginning, and then you can kind of flesh it
Right.
out from there.
And I don't know honestly how long that's gonna last as far as how fast can they press a reset? Because let's say they took everything to a zero, right? Boop, right? It still doesn't answer the question on who was managing those monies.
Yeah.
Now you got to audit that. You got to audit each individual chain of that to figure out was that money actually just distributed the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, or is it
Right?
misused and abused and yeah. Shocker. It was. It actually was.
And I mean, it's so funny that we as normal citizens, we get audited every year by the IRS, and even though it's not an audit, we file our taxes. If something flags us, then we get audited, but it's still an audit. Mm-hmm. And it's like me. I'm paying the federal government this year.
Yeah.
I don't make little money. I make a good living, and I'm paying the federal government.
Yeah.
I took extra out this year. I actually pulled every time I got paid. I actually took extra to pay extra in the tax, and I'm still paying the federal government.
Wow.
Okay? That is not okay.
Yeah.
And I can take you to two places right down the road here that there are people that haven't had a job in 2 years.
Yeah.
They filed their taxes, and they're getting shit tons of money back.
Exactly.
Explain that one to me. How does that math up?
Yeah. But I mean, the maths because 25% of the people in this entire country pay taxes, and that's it. And it's everybody else is living off of these resources that are being redistributed, and that's why socialism doesn't work. Because you have no motivation to do anything if you're just getting funded automatically.
Yeah. I don't make little monies, and yet I'm paying the federal government. And I'm like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Like, I don't work for the government,
Yeah.
and I'm paying them? Right?
What have they done for me?
Like, what is going on here? So I'm totally, next time we shoot, I'm sure we're going to have some better topics, but we're really just looking at what this looks like right now and just the amount of abuse that has happened for so long. And, love him or hate him, and the Doge department is doing some crazy things. And I'm so sick and tired of hearing people say, well, he's got a bunch of kids working for him. They're not kids. These are literal savants. They're geniuses.
Oh yeah.
They're not, they're not some guy, reading instructions on how to put a light bulb in.
Yeah.
These people know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, one kid that's working for him right now deciphered language from Pompeii.
Whoa. Holy shit.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you do that?
I couldn't fucking do that.
Can you do
That's
that?
for sure.
I mean, come on.
At the end of the day, a lot of us share the same values.
Oh, yeah.
We want to protect women, children. We want to protect our communities. We want everyone to prosper and be
Right.
better. And it's a lot of convoluted and multiple-sided ideas on how to pursue those interests. But as long as we can find a way to find common ground and attack these issues from logical standpoints and not from emotional standpoints,
That's a huge part of it.
we can make progress in areas.
That's a huge part of it. Well,
But
leave your comments down below. Share it with your friends. We're back. We're going to try and get this rolling out regular again. But unless the next round's on you,
we gotta go.
cheers.
Thanks, guys. That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to, that show.